Welcome to the REPO4EU Podcast, the program that brings you closer to the latest innovations, research and developments happening in drug repurposing across the globe. I'm your host, Alexandra Rodriguez, and for today's episode, we welcome Cristian Nogales. Having pursued his bachelor's degree in biochemistry at University of Seville, where he's originally from, Cristian continued his postgraduate studies at the Autonomous University of Madrid to pursue his interest for systems biology and computer science. He moved to the Netherlands in 2017, where he started as a PhD candidate at the Department of Pharmacology and Personalized Medicine in Maastricht University. He's currently based in Vienna, where he works as a postdoctoral researcher in the Ludwig Boltzmann Institute for Network Medicine, led by Professor Jörg Menche. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and that you feel inspired by Cristian's journey and his passion for using his knowledge to produce tangible results that can help patients live better lives. Thank you so much for joining me today, Cristian. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, Alexandra, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. So today we're going to be talking about your background and your involvement in the REPO4EU project. But I think we can start by going a bit back to the past. I would like to know where your interest or your passion for science in general came from. What made you decide to go into biotechnology specifically?
During my high school years, I wanted to go into medicine, but then at some point I realized that was not like the fit for me, let's say. I ended up like studying biochemistry in Sevilla. Eventually after that, I went to Madrid, tried to find like a more applied way to do science, try to reach translation, and help people.
Why did you decide to go down the academic route instead of, for example, going into industry after completing your master's?
My first idea was like, I don't want to go into the academic path. Usually like people who want to do a PhD really wants to do a PhD. I'm very driven for that. But somehow I ended up like founding Harel in Maastricht. And then the opportunity for me to do this PhD came. I quickly realized that I was quite enjoying what I was doing there and the freedom that I have in academia. Even though like it was not my first decision, the first thing that I thought I was going to be doing, I'm actually quite happy with the outcome.
What was a big question that you had for your PhD? What was the main theme of your research while you were in Maastricht?
Actually, I joined it just at the time where they started the previous project to REPO4EU there. It's called REPO Trial. So I was mainly and almost exclusively involved in that project, mostly in cardiovascular diseases like stroke, heart failure, etc., to try to find sort of like by understanding what is the underlying molecular mechanism of these diseases, maybe try to find out like new ways to diagnose and treat those patients. So it set a bit the ground for like what the REPO4EU came to be later on. For me, diagnostics indeed is one of the key aspects and one of the most relevant and interesting.
What was your knowledge of drug repurposing before entering your PhD and working with Harold? Was this something that you were aware of? Was it something you were interested in? Tell me a little bit more how you entered the world of drug repurposing through your research.
I was aware of it, like I heard about it through university, I think mostly during my master years in Madrid, but it was like not something that I had really like explored, let's say, and I didn't really see maybe back then like the true benefits that it has, like I do right now.
Now that you've been involved in the project for a little bit and entering a bit more the world of drug repurposing and network medicine, being a biotechnologist in this field in particular, what do you think you bring to the table in terms of your knowledge and your skills? How does the project benefit from having you?
So I think I have a quite peculiar background, let's say. So my background is mostly like biological, but I was always very computationally inclined. So I have like a very hybrid background where like I can really understand the biology of what's going on with a disease, let's say, and like with drugs and treatments, etc. But I can also speak a bit the bioinformatician's language, so I can reach these two words that sometimes have troubles communicating with each other because they don't have the same vocabulary even. So I try to act as a bridge between these two words.
Interesting. One of the core ethos of Repurposing is to bring people together to work for the advancement of drug repurposing. So, what benefits do you see from being part of this big consortium and getting to work with people from different backgrounds, different fields of research? Is it something that you find enriching for yourself?
I definitely do. I think that's one of the things I like the most about Repo4EU and about my previous department in Maastricht. My work there was very interdisciplinary, so we work a lot with informaticians, with clinical people, etc. It's good to have this approach to be open-minded.
So, Christian, you moved from Maastricht to continue as a postdoc researcher in Vienna. Tell me about how you continued with your involvement in Repurposing and what does your day-to-day job look like as part of the institute where you're working at the moment?
Well, I read in New York, but then I found like he started this like new research institute in network medicine here in Vienna. And because it's also a partner in Repo4EU, I felt to me like it was like the ideal transition from going to Maastricht to Vienna within like still being involved in Repo4EU and going also more in my research towards the direction that I wanted to go, which is like mostly computational. So right now here in Vienna, I'm mostly involved in the computational working packages of Repo4EU. Mostly at the moment, I'm helping the development of the Repo4EU platform together with my colleagues here.
One thing that has come up in these conversations for the podcast is that obviously the world of research comes with very fascinating opportunities, but there's also challenges. I wanted to ask you what motivates you to do what you do? What's your main drive? What keeps you going?
Hmm. And really want to see benefits in what I do, like try to like help people somehow. So that's why I like this project, and that's why I try to like my research to make it as applied as possible. So at the end, I can see like, okay, I'm doing something that yes is challenging, but there is like some real benefit and some people might really benefit from what I'm doing right now. Especially that together with doing something that you like, because right now I really like what I'm doing. It's like enough for me to feel very satisfied, and it's not so much of a struggle or a hustle, let's say, to do research at the moment when you really like it and when you see that you're helping people.
This kind of brings me to my last question for today, and it's been fascinating to hear more about your story and, the journey that led you to where you are today. My last question for you is, if there's someone listening to this episode who's thinking maybe of doing a PhD or starting a career in science, drawing from your own personal experience, Christian, what would you say to them?
I think I will give it them the same advice that I usually give young researchers and the new PhDs that I come in contact with. Basically, is take it easy, let's say. You can get drained very fast by the research and academic research world. It's truly fascinating and it's really interesting and you can do a lot of great and cool stuff, but you also have to like take it easy, like not put too much pressure on yourself and go along, see how things come and overcome the challenges that come your way, but without being too hard on yourself. Just try to enjoy what you're doing. Don't put too much pressure and don't take yourself too seriously.
So enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride, indeed.
Amazing. I think that's a great way to end our conversation today. Thank you so much, Christian, for joining me. And I'm sure we'll see each other around. So best of luck with your work in Repurposing and in your research in general.
Yeah, thank you, Alexandra, for the invitation. It was truly a pleasure to have this conversation and discuss and explain what I do for the Repurposing project. Thank you.
For more information about Repurposing and the mission behind the project, please visit Repo4EU and make sure to follow the project on all the social media. We're on X, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, and YouTube. If you simply type Repo4EU, you'll find us there. Until the next one.